If you're watching or listening to this episode, I want you to pause for just a moment and I want you to take a deep breath and I want you to let yourself arrive here because this one is for the woman who knows that something is happening, something is shifting in her, and she knows it deep down inside. And she's ready. She's ready for change. Not that loud change, not that dramatic change. No, it's not that kind of shift, but something quietly, something steady, and something faithful. She knows that she is standing right at that crossroad, and it is time for her to leap. Welcome to another episode of Rollerset to Mindset. I'm Angela. I am your guide when you find yourself at that crossroad. And the question you're asking yourself is, what is next for me? Well, this is the episode for you because I'm here to tell you that what sustained you in 2025, it's no longer working. Matter of fact, it's not even necessary. The routines, the belief, the starting and the stopping, the survival skills, all the stuff, that strength that you had to develop to keep going. I am here to tell you that it doesn't even matter anymore. But hear me clearly now. Hear me clearly. What sustained you was never meant to stay. So many times we think that what's holding us together, that's going to be our forever companion. No, 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 no. No. That's not your destination. That's not your end all and be all. It was just the springboard. And now you are ready to leap. And so you may ask yourself, how do I leap? Well, I'm glad you asked because right now I am giving you permission to leap. The same way I had to give myself permission, I want to give you permission to leap. I want you to release all of the experiences without minimizing them, without not giving them the props that they needed because it served you. It served you to get you here. Sometimes we have to, and I had to learn this, sometimes we have to honor what we have learned was dragging us forward. We had to learn what was dragging us forward. And sometimes we have to lay down the weight of what should have been. Because shoulda, coulda, if shoulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, a long time ago. So what I'm trying to tell you is you don't have to carry that disappointment into the season of your next. You don't have to relive those wins either. Whatever you won in 2025, you won that. Give 2025 that. And now it's time to give 2026 its just due. I am giving you permission to leave it all behind. Leave it all behind because seasons change for a reason. So let's talk about the season of change that you are in, that you can feel it, you can taste it, you can smell it. And I want you to think about this winter. We are in winter, but we know that spring is going to spring forward. If you use your imagination, you know what spring is about. Spring is about renewal. Spring is about finally doing that thing right so that you can blossom. So that's what I want you to focus on today, because there's something that has been bubbling inside of you. That's what happened to me. I had been living a particular way, doing things a particular way, seeing things a particular way, all of 2025. But at the same time, there was something bubbling inside of me that I didn't put a name to it. I wasn't able to put a name to it. You know how sometimes you have a thought, or you have an idea, or sometimes you feel like There's a calling going on. There's a calling gnawing at me. There's a calling tapping at me. And you can get you have an idea of the vision of how it's going to be. But what you're lacking is the full awareness and the clarity that has to come with it. Because it's the type of idea that it just doesn't leave you alone. You know what I mean? It doesn't want to leave you alone, and you find yourself, you can't even ignore it. And I'm here to tell you that that's not random. That is not something that's just popping out of the blue. You know, it's not wishful thinking, because that's not how it works. What it's trying to tell you is that you are ready to spring forward, but you don't believe that it is the right season because you think that certain things have to be in place for you to leap. Well, I'm here to tell you that everything doesn't have to be lined up and in perfect order. The first thing is this. The first thing this new season asks of you is awareness. When you get an idea about something, you get a hunch or you have a clue about something, that's simply an awareness that something is brewing. And that is what your new season requires of you. Simply an awareness. And baby, once you have that awareness, clarity comes. See, you think you have to have all the answers, but I'm here to tell you, all you need is an awareness. Because after awareness, then comes clarity. Then comes clarity, which is the first pillar in my Fuller Life CQB method. Clarity. And clarity about what matters now, not what matters then, not what matters in the future, but what matters now in the present moment. We got to learn to stay present, to live in the present moment, and to simply use our past experience and our future desires as tools to help us, to give us direction on how to operate and move in the present moment. Because clarity is what matters. Clarity about who you are becoming, not who you have been, but who you are becoming. That is the thing that matters. Now, along with clarity, you've got to understand that clarity is not clear just for clear sake. No. The confusion doesn't leave you just so you can live in a state of non-confusion. You have to take that clarity and do something with it. And when you do something with your clarity, then that's what moves courage in you. That's what builds the courage for you to take your next step. And I'm not talking about, like, again, I got this courage, the boastful type of courage. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Not loud courage, but quiet courage. Internal, it's like your voice is loud, but it's an internal loudness in your voice because you're still trying to figure it out. You're not trying to give individuals the full picture, your full vision. And it's the kind of courage that tells you, that gives you the hope that says, I'll try it. Even if I don't know all the answers, I'm at least willing to try. That's the kind of courage that I am talking about. And when you move with courage, guess what follows? Confidence follows. Confidence will follow that courage. And I'm not talking about arrogance, ladies. I'm not talking about that puffed up kind of courage. No. And confidence, no, absolutely not. I'm talking about the confidence that is rooted in truth, that is rooted and the truth about who you are and whose you are. And here's the part we don't talk about enough. This is the part we don't talk about enough. The path. How do we get there? How do we get to what ultimately we all want, and that is bliss and joy and alignment? The path is like this: clarity, then you have the courage, then you have the confidence. And when those three things are in alignment and merge, then you have the joy, and then you have the bliss, the blissful life that you crave. And that is what's waiting for you. I'm here to tell you that is what's waiting for you. But before you can even experience all that, you've got to work on your identity. You got to learn how to reframe your identity. You got to not live in a place of lack. You got to adopt the thought pattern that you are not lacking, that you are not behind, that you are not late, because that kind of thinking keeps us in the past. You gotta know that you know that you know, and believe that you already have everything you need. Everything you need. The people that needs to be in the right place, all that stuff has already been created. Nothing new is being created. What's being new is our attention to it, our awareness of it, our belief in it. And then when we walk in belief, when we walk with full intention, then things begin to change. Because like I said, you already have what you need. You have the wisdom, you have the discernment, you have the resilience, you have the depth, you have it all. Now it's time to believe in it. Believe that you have it so that you can use it, not to let it sit on a shelf. I almost found myself sitting on my gift, sitting on all that I had, sitting on all of the things that I had already developed that would carry me into my next. And I don't want that same thing to happen to you. So in this season isn't about you becoming someone else. It's never been about you becoming someone else, but it's about you becoming more fully of you and being proud of it. You know, walking like you know that you know that you know, talking like you know that you know that you know, being, embodying like you know that you know that you know. And sometimes I have found that it requires affirming yourself. Affirm yourself when no one else is affirming you. If you've got a problem with that, I'm going to help you with that with this statement. Matter of fact, I want you to write it down as you are affirming it. And here it is. I honor what sustained me. I release what no longer serves me. And I trust what's rising within me. Say it with me again. I honor what sustained me. I release what no longer serves me. And I trust what's rising within me. Now understand that you're not jumping blindly. No. You're fully locked and loaded. You're not jumping blindly. You're springing forward. You know, you're springing forward. You're leaping forward, and you're leaping on purpose, in purpose, with purpose, covered with it, overflowing with it, pressed down, overflowing, shaken together, the whole nine. In other words, you're sipping out your saucer with it. So you're not ever running on empty, but you have enough to share with others from your overflow. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Ladies, I'm just trying to tell you, it's time to live into the fullness of you, all of you. How you walk, how you talk, how you express yourself, the impressions that you make on other people. It's unique to you. Don't shy away from it, because if you do, then the people who you are assigned to, they're going to miss you. you're going to miss them because they're tuning, they're listening and tuning in to a certain rhythm. And if only you can bring that rhythm, how else are they going to get it? And it's an exchange between the people you're serving and the people who's waiting to be served. It's an exchange between the two of you. So be yourself. Do you believe in that person? There's only one you, uniquely made for a time and a purpose such as now. And so if this message stirs something up in you in any kind of way, I want you to stay close. I want you to tune in. I want you to subscribe. I want you to hit that notification button so when I'm up, you know about it. Because this is your season of becoming, ladies. This is, and you don't have to walk this thing alone. Okay? And the one thing I want you to remember that your transformation, your next, it's an inside job. It starts within and then it bubbles out. I will talk with you soon. Okay? Bye.